What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to Armored Warfare, where today we're going to be doing a video that wasn't supposed to happen this way. Today's video was supposed to include the gameplay you're going to see now, but before we got to that, we were going to look at a PvP match in the BWP1M Puma, the reward vehicle for the March Madness event that's going on at the moment. Unfortunately, while Shadowplay seems to have recorded the results for the match and all of that, it didn't actually save the match itself. So I'm going to have to kind of do this, plan B, I guess. So as I said, initially this video was supposed to be mostly about the Puma, and then we were going to go into a PvE match in the Type 98 here, and I was just going to sort of give a little update and talk about the issues that I've been having at the moment, why there hasn't been too much content, and why there hasn't been too much Armored Warfare content. So instead, we're just going to have to do that straight in, look at the Type 98 in a PvE battle. So I thought before we go over there, let's just quickly go over the stats. This is not a review of the vehicle. We'll do that at a later stage. So let's just quickly look over it in isolation. We're not going to compare it to everything else. 602 damage, pretty good. 125mm gun. 547mm of pen, so sort of in the middle of Tier 8. Not quite as good as Ariete or T90, but better than the M1A1. I think fairly similar to the Leopard. DPM 4600. Reload time 7.71 seconds. Hit points 2,400. It's got 350mm of armor on the front with a 1.3 modifier, 2.0 against shape charges. The turret's 380, 380, also composite, so 1.3, 1.3, 2.0. Max speed 65, 0 to 32 of 6.7, so not bad. Camo 0.1 and view range of 430. Gun depression -8 off the front, -4 off the rear, so pretty good front depression at least. Turret reverse 33.5 degrees a second, accuracy 0.05, and an aim time of 3.17 seconds, so not terribly good. Now that is because the view range is because we're running Philip. He just kind of defaulted into all these Chinese main battle tanks, and I forgot to change him and then just haven't gotten around to it. So obviously he gives me an extra 40 meters to my view range. Crew is only level 2. So I haven't used this tank very much. This is the loadout we're running: 41 armor piercing, 5 heat, 7 ATGMs with a normal shape charge warheads, and 3 with the thermobaric warhead. Standard consumables, and then we are running augmented breechlock Mark III, chrome barrel lining Mark III, air induction pre-cleaner Mark III, and augmented optics Mark III. I wouldn't really go with anything else, in my opinion. Your view range is quite shit. As you can see, I mean, it's what, 430, so 400, so it's 360 standard. That's not terribly good. And there's no point in putting intercom system, in my opinion, because there's no loader, so you're not going to benefit from that. I mean, you will benefit with accuracy and aiming time a little bit, but without a loader, that's generally when I stick away from the intercom system. But anyways, that is enough of the rambling and the little look over this vehicle. Let's go and look and see how she does in a PvE battle, and we'll just talk about the issues that have been plaguing my gaming at the moment. Right, so welcome to the gameplay video. We are on Operation Banshee, which is one of the more difficult PvE missions, in my opinion, because the AI is just like the bots are just always swarming. So it's very easy to get surrounded and for things to go quite badly. But anyway, so why are we watching a PvE battle? Why am I dedicating another whole video to talk about my woes and my troubles? Well, basically, as many of you know, last week my Armored Warfare game files corrupted themselves. And one of my subscribers who lives nearby was kind enough to bring the game files to my house and let me copy them so I didn't have to re-download the whole 30 gigs again. So that was on Thursday, I think. Well, I don't recall why I didn't play on Thursday night. But on Friday, my parents came up from Durban, which is about 600 kilometers away from where I live, and they came to stay the weekend. So obviously, that then limited the amount of gaming I can do, because I don't get to see my parents very often, so obviously I want to spend time with them. So Friday night I didn't get to play anything. Saturday night I did get to play, but I had to start a little bit later than usual. Not the end of the world. Started playing at about 11 o'clock. I got one game in, and after that game, power failure. I swear, I nearly flipped. I lost my shit, and I wanted to break something. One game, power failure, so couldn't play on Saturday night. Only came back in at about 4 o'clock in the morning, so obviously by then I was asleep. So Sunday, again, I have to start a little bit late, and since Sunday, my internet has been shocking. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to also use this gameplay, because at one point you'll see how bad the lag will be, and this was actually one of the better games for the performance. On Monday, I think I actually had to get hold of yeah, it would have been Monday. I actually had to get hold of my service provider and ask them to sort it out. It was that bad. I actually put up a picture of a screenshot I took of a speed test that I did, connecting to a server within Johannesburg, within, like, that's in my city. It's not far away, and the ping was 200. The download speed was 0.07 megabytes a second. Upload speed was like 0.01 or something. So it was like really just completely stupid, and for the whole of Monday I couldn't use it. It would get better, then it would get worse, and so on and so on. And even though it hasn't been performing quite that badly at night, it's still not been particularly good, and I've been getting a lot of lag and a lot of packet loss, and you'll see it a little bit later. And it's to the point where I'm looking at how it's performing and just going, how am I supposed to play like this? And it's just in PvE you can make it work. In PvP, not so much. So it's a little bit annoying right now. On top of that, it just never ends. My World of Warships game files have now corrupted themselves. I've got to re-download that. I think I'm suspecting, because Armored Warfare and World of Warships are both on the same hard drive, both on a 2 terabyte hard drive. And obviously I am thinking that it's the hard drive that is failing or whatever. Another hard drive, I can't believe this. And I just have to imagine that I'm having so many hard drive failures because there are so many power failures in this area. And my computer is from Sunday, it stays on pretty much 24 hours a day until Thursday night or Friday. Friday night I turn it off because then I'm not uploading. But Sunday night I'm uploading. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night I'm uploading. So it's pretty much on 24 hours a day until, Friday night when I go to bed I finally switch it off. So if there's ever a power failure, my computer is pretty much on. So I'm imagining that this is the reason why I'm just having so many problems with hard drives and game files getting corrupted and all that. So I've now got to download World of Warships again, which is also problematic because it's then obviously going to download the latest version, and I still had replays that I needed to record from the old version. And you can just see, I mean, how are you supposed to know when an AI is stopping and when it's just packet loss and he's about to move forward like that Terminator was doing? So if it's so difficult in PvE, when you can take your time, a little bit more time to aim shots, because the bots aren't going to go for weak spots or anything, how are you supposed to do it in PvP? And that Puma match that I did want to show did have a moment of the lag actually getting me hurt, losing a lot of hit points, because I was trying to I was engaging a swing fire and I was trying to reverse behind cover, and it just started freaking out, and I didn't know where I was, which way I was supposed to be reversing. So I ate one of the swing fire's missiles. But I mean, it's just been really difficult at the moment, and yeah, that's why there hasn't been as much content. And then we also had another power failure on Sunday night. Thankfully, Sunday night the power went out after I'd already gone to bed, and it was just while I was uploading. But that's why there was then no video on Monday, because power went out at probably about 2:30 in the morning. I was already asleep, so I don't know the exact time, but you know, 2 power failures, twice in 2 days kind of goes a little way to explain why, as I said, so many of my hard drives have been failing. And I've had just look at this. I think, was this the part? He stops, he's warping forward. Is he now really stopped? It's really terrible at the moment. And as I said, this was one of the better nights, or one of the better games, and it just had that little part that I thought, I can at least use that to show you kind of what it's been doing. And it does it a lot worse in some matches. I had a match earlier tonight, actually, in the B1 Centauro, and it was just... I almost drowned because it drove me into a river, and I couldn't get out. And then I was playing a PvE match, I think on Sunday night in the M1 A1 Abrams, just doing some crew training, because obviously can't play PvP right now, so at least I can kind of do it in PvE. And it was on, oh man, one where the story is the chemical weapons. You got to go and stop the bad guys from getting their chemical weapons. And we had crossed the river, and I was intending to drive out, move forward slightly, should I say. And I held down W and moved, and I was like, okay, that's enough, and I let go. And literally my tank kept driving for 10 seconds. And when it finally all synced itself back up, it had actually literally kept driving, and had driven me straight across this road, no cover on any side of me or anything like that. So that could have gone very badly, but thankfully none of the AI shot at me while it was doing this stupid thing. I've never experienced anything that bad. But now I don't know why this T90MS is saying we must report the XM8 bot. Yes, he's just being stupid. I mean, earlier on in this match, I was doing my best to keep the XM8 alive. He was a little bit too aggressive, I think. But anyway, I was confused as to why I couldn't penetrate the Leopard, and then I realized that I'd actually run out of ammo and had used all my AP. So switching back, used the field maintenance kit, destroyed him, and now we've got a few more vehicles in front of us. And I was actually quite surprised how well this Type 98 did, because I think they did do some bug fixes, because there was an issue with the armor. There was like literally no armor around the gun mantlet. Another YouTuber, I can't remember who it was, actually did a test, and the ERC-90 had no problem penetrating the gun mantlet of the Type 98. It was just nothing. It was ridiculous how easy it was to penetrate. I think that's been fixed. But overall, I was quite impressed with this little vehicle. Decently accurate gun. Initially, I wasn't sure if I should run both chrome barrel lining and augmented breech lock. I think I had barrel lining fitted, and I was just trying to decide if I should use breech lock or if I should just go for hull reinforcement, because that's a kind of standard thing you do with your main battle tanks. At the end of it, I decided to go with the breech lock and get better accuracy and better reload, rather than an extra bit of hit points. It was 2,500, basically 2,500, 2,405 is decent enough. And ammo racked him there, I think 809 damage on that shot, and heard everything blow up nicely. So 10 kills, 21,000 damage. And what do we have left? We can see a warrior and a leopard to a 6. Warrior is not really looking at us. The leopard is obviously a more dangerous target. And I managed to put another shot into the warrior, down to 534 hit points. I think this leopard is firing HE, but it's not quite registering in our little incoming damage panel. I think something got screwed up when I had to move it back. And unfortunately, no hydro pumps. which is a little bit of a shame because we did have a light tank and a Ramka 99, and those guys should have been able to go and get them. But I mean, that XM8 was fighting for his life for most of the battle, while I was fighting desperately to try and keep him alive, shooting at anything that might look his way. And then the Ramka, I mean, he's been doing his job, so can't complain, I suppose. And try to come around the corner and see if we can sneak a shot into the warrior to get him, but no such luck. So, off to the results, and not a bad little match. First game ever in the Type 98. I don't think I'd played it in PvP or PvE before. 13,113 reputation, 156,000 credits, 24,000 damage, 11,500 spotting damage, 25 spots. We got the blue star, we got target and master gunner or shooter or whatever the one's called. I think those are all three of them. Obviously, first place on the team by nearly 1,000 points because we did nearly 10,000 damage more than anyone else. We did more spotting than anyone else. We got more kills than anyone else. Almost more assists. The artillery did have 13 assists while we only had 12. But a pretty good match overall. Yeah, despite my internet's best efforts, we still managed to pull out a decent match. And I just hope it's sorted soon because I'm losing my patience. You know, forget YouTube. I'm just losing for me because I want to play and I can't. And obviously, I can't even try World of Warships to see how it's doing there because I have to reinstall that. I can't try War Thunder because the big patch 1.57 came out today, so I've got to download that. 3 gigs, and with having to download World of Warships again, I think the War Thunder patch is going to have to wait. So I don't have anything else I can test it with right now. Everything needs to be updated. But anyways, that is about it for this little update video, I guess, and a brief look at the Type 98 in PvE. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button down below and consider subscribing for more Armored Warfare, World of Warships, and a few other things that are thrown to the mix from time to time. But that's it from me. Thank you very much for stopping by. This is Predator 458 signing off, and I will see you guys next time.